Welcome back to the Diaries episode 3. We are at the halfway point, batch 3 out of 6. Almost there. We just got to keep chugging along. Since I am not going to school this semester, I am going to be making pots for Zion, making pots for my website, and trying to get into some new national parks, which will be discussed later. But yeah, I'm super excited. Today was day 1 of throwing, and it went great. I just put a mirror in front of my pottery wheel. I think you can see it there. And it literally helped so much. Helped my posture, helped throwing. It was just beautiful. It was quite the adjustment to go from not using a mirror to now having a mirror, but it really helped. And instead of being kinked off to my side trying to look at my pot, I can now just look directly at my pot, which is amazing. This was day 2. I already had all of the white mugs thrown, so all I had to do was trim, handle, and decorate, which right now I'm putting handles on. Today is Lizard Day, so we are trimming, handling, and decorating some lizard mugs along with the marbled mugs. So let's turn this into this. After making my first 2 batches, I figured out the most efficient and best way to make the lizard mugs, and that is making all of the lizards at once where they have a general shape, and then I add them to the mugs and add the details such as the texture, the toes, the eyes, things like that. Now it's time to make some more mugs. This batch seems to be going a lot quicker than usual, which is very strange because I'm making a lot more work because I'm making all of the work for my website and for new national parks. So it's weird to me that it feels like it's going by so much faster, but I don't know. That's strange, but also a good thing. Maybe because it's the midway point for all of the batches that I'm sending to Zion, so it feels like I'm almost done, so it's like going by a lot quicker. I'm not really sure. I've also been making a lot of different upgrades that make my process more efficient and give myself some more room. I just got a room for storage space, which has been so wonderful. I've also been using it to dry some pots in there. So that has been really awesome and helpful for my process. This bat system is called the Blue Bucket Tools bat system, and that is one of the many upgrades I've made. Now that these pots are dry, I am going to be shaving them down, and you might not know what that means, so let me explain. What I do is I get a little bucket or bowl or tin of water, and then I use this tool to essentially sand down and smooth out all of the carvings I've made, because when you're working with the wet clay, especially when you're carving, it does get pretty messy, and so I like to clean them up so they look very nice. Essentially what I do is I just recarve the entire piece, making sure everything is nice and smooth and looks very nice and presentable. This is also a great extra step to take in the process because it gives me time to examine the mug and make sure it is perfect, and I can change any last little details because once it's fired, I won't be able to do that. It is so fulfilling to see the shelves full and my desk full of pottery. I'm almost done with this midway batch. And that's it. These are the final 11 mugs of the 3rd batch of Zion pottery. As you can see, the shelves are empty. The majority of the Zion pottery is at the kiln being bisque fired as we speak. There are only about 10 Zion mugs that are left that just need a little bit more drying time, as well as some work for my website, but that's not important right now. Well, it is important, but not for the sake of this video. And to celebrate being halfway done with the halfway mark of the Zion pottery batches, I am wearing my Zion National Park sweatshirt. Everything is made, and now it's time to pack it up and take it to the kiln for a bisque fire. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to glaze all of these pieces. And I totally forgot to record me loading and unloading and firing the kiln and all of that, but everything is fired and now it's time to glaze it. I am starting to stress quite a bit because I have a trip planned to go see some family out of town. It's only for a short weekend, but I wanted to get all of the work done before I leave for that trip, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I will be able to glaze all of the pottery and fire all of the pottery, but I sand all of my pots because I like them to be nice and smooth for all of my customers. I don't want them to scratch up your countertops or your hands or anything like that, so I sand everything, and I will not have time for that before I go on my vacation. I am almost done glazing the Zion pieces. I just have to add some purple glazes to these pieces and these pieces. Glazing in total took me about a week, but that does include the work that I made for my website. As you can see, everything is glazed and ready to head to the kiln, so that is exactly what we're gonna do. I'm going to check them, make sure that there's not any glaze on the bottoms or in any areas that I don't want it to be. I'm gonna clean them up and then box them up and take them to the kiln tomorrow. All right, so I had to go on a quick little vacation to go see some family. It was a quick 4-day trip, and I'm back now. While I was gone, the kiln was firing and finishing everything up that needed to be fired, and I came home and we had about 10 pots not turn out the way that they were supposed to. So sadly, I am remaking those, but I spoke to my contact at Zion and they said they would love to get the pots that I do have finished. So I will be packing those up and sending them off. And then I've already made the ones that had a mishap in the kiln. So tomorrow I will be trimming, handling, and decorating those and finishing them up. But I won't bore you with recording all of that since you've already seen the process of everything. So I guess this is it. Before I say goodbye, I wanted to let you know that Zion has asked me to become a permanent vendor. So that means I will not just be doing 6 batches, I will just be doing batches permanently. So that is very exciting. I will continue with the 6 episodes of the Zion Diaries, but after that I will no longer be recording my work for Zion because I will just be working forever. Here are all of the mugs that are ready to be sent off to Zion, so I will be packaging these up shortly and sending them off. There are only 2 styles that I have to remake, so it should be super quick. This particular style came out more blue than it normally does. It typically looks like this, but for whatever reason, it came out blue instead of the color it normally does. But I sent photos over to Zion to see if they still wanted these mugs or if they wanted me to remake them, and they said they liked them the way they are, so I will be sending these off with the rest of the batch. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.